Hey everyone, and welcome! Today we're going to talk about something that's literally all around us, an invisible power that runs the entire universe. From how planets orbit to how you flip a light switch, we're going to dive into the concept of force.
So, let's kick things off with a simple question. Have you ever really stopped to wonder what makes a soccer ball fly into a net, or what makes a car grind to a halt, or hey, what's even keeping you from floating out of your chair right now? Well, the answer to all of those is exactly the same thing.
And the answer is actually super simple. It's a force. Yep, that's it. When you boil it all down, every single force, no matter how complicated it seems, is just one of two things: a push or a pull.
Okay, so let's get just a little more scientific for a second. The official definition is that a force is the physical cause that either changes or tries to change an object's position. And that little phrase, tries to, is really important. Think about it. If you push against a solid brick wall, you're definitely applying a force, right? Even if the wall doesn't budge an inch.
You know, that whole idea of applying a force to something brings us to a golden rule. See, a force can never, ever exist all by itself. It's always an interaction between at least two objects. You can't push on nothing, and nothing can pull on you. It always takes two.
So, we know what a force is, a push or a pull between two things. But what can it actually do? Well, it turns out force has about 5 main effects. You could almost call them superpowers that change the world around us. Let's take a look.
This mind map here gives us the whole picture at a glance. We're going to quickly break down each of these 5 key effects, one by one.
First up, the most obvious one, force can get things moving. A soccer ball just sitting on the grass isn't going anywhere, right? Not until a player comes along and applies a force with their foot. That kick is the force that gets that stationary object moving.
Second, force can do the exact opposite. It can stop something that's already in motion. So imagine that same soccer ball is now flying towards the goal. The goalie uses their hands to apply a force, and boom, brings that ball to a complete stop.
Third superpower, force can change an object's direction. Just think about a tennis match. The ball is zipping toward you from one direction, you swing your racket, apply a force, and send it flying back in a totally new direction.
Number 4 is a fun one. Force can actually change an object's shape or its size. So when you squeeze a sponge, you're using force to change its shape. And when you stretch out a rubber band, you're applying a force to change its size.
And finally, number 5, force can change the speed of an object that's already moving. And this can go both ways. It can make it go faster, like when you give a friend an extra push on a swing, or it can make it go slower, like when you squeeze the brakes on your bike.
Okay, so we know what force does. But with so many different kinds of forces out there, how do we make sense of it all? Well, luckily, scientists have simplified everything by sorting every single force into just 2 main categories.
The 2 types are pretty straightforward. First, you've got contact forces. These are exactly what they sound like, forces that only work when objects are physically touching one another, like you pushing a box. Then, you have the more mysterious ones, non-contact forces. These forces can act over a distance, without anything touching at all. Think about the invisible pull of a magnet, or the force of gravity that's keeping you in your seat right now.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground. So, just to make sure it all sinks in, let's do a really quick recap of the most important points.
So if you remember anything from this, remember these 3 things. First, deep down, every force is just a simple push or a pull. Second, it has those 5 superpowers. It can start something, stop it, change its direction, change its shape, or change its speed. And finally, every single one of those forces is either a contact force, which requires touching, or a non-contact force, which can act from a distance.
And I'll leave you with a final challenge. I want you to take what you've learned here and apply it to the world around you. Just look around the room, right now. Can you spot 3 different contact forces and at least 1 non-contact force happening as we speak? I promise you, once you start looking, you'll see that force is truly everywhere. Thanks for watching.